First, I want to apologize for the white slide. Had I known you were going to need sunglasses, I would have left white slides out. So let's get past that. Okay. Now that we got rid of the white, just to introduce myself, my name is Markay Martinson. I have been the business license supervisor with Ogden here for the last year. However, I have done business licensing for just over 10 years now. So to tell you my favorite part about business licensing, I think I have the best job. They'll probably all argue with you too, but I love watching business owners come in with an idea and watching it grow. I get to see you guys from the very beginning, work out the kinks, and watch you scale your business to these huge operations that may have just started in your home, and I think it's exciting. I love it. So when you come in, I'm probably going to be overly excited, but it's for good reason. It's going to be awesome. Okay. So just a few things we're going to go over. Just why do we even need a business license? What is it? And can't we just operate without one, right? What our license types are and what we license for. Some of the steps that you can take before we actually apply for a business license, just to help that process go a little more smoothly. And then how to apply, and then just a brief go over what the approval process is going to look like. Again, sorry, back to white. All right, so business licenses, they're a legal document that actually, has said, okay, I've gone through this business license review process, and it's giving me the authorization to go ahead and operate my business within Ogden City or another city, but we want to keep our businesses here, so within Ogden City. So it ensures that the business is complying with all local, state, and federal regulations. So we work with the different departments outside, whether if you have alcohol, we're going to work with the Department of Alcoholic Beverage Services. A lot of times we're going to refer to that as DABS. If we don't understand the acronym when you're working with our office, please let us know. We're really trying to simplify that to help you guys that aren't working with those all the time. And a business license is valid for 1 year. So typically those licenses are going to be just your standard. If I got issued my license in February, now it's going to be good for 1 whole year after that. There are a few exceptions that you should be aware of. If your business deals with alcohol and we're doing an alcohol license, those will all expire December 31st of every year. Rental licenses, just, renting out your duplex that way, those are the end of January every year. All the rest, just the full 12 months. So. All right, so our license types, we have our commercial licenses. General commercial licenses are going to entail anything from storefronts, businesses like restaurants without alcohol, thing like that. We have out in BDO, we have a lot of manufacturing kind of businesses that way. It's all going to fall under general commercial. Commercial with alcohol is what it says. Anything with alcohol that is not a special event, you're going to apply for the commercial with alcohol. And then we have our commercial businesses for independents and professionals. And those businesses are ones that they are going to be like hairstylists, tattoo artists, anything of the services where you're going to have more of a booth rental and not your own business area. There are some that have suites where you're going to go in and rent a suite. That's going to fall under general commercial, but independent professional. If you have a booth rent, that's where you're going to fall. We have our home occupation licenses. The licensing department, we do not license all home occupation business licenses. We ask that you give us a call and we can kind of review your business, how it operates, just to make sure that you're falling within the parameters and understand those guidelines to which you can operate your home-based business from Ogden City. So anything daycare, preschool, those absolutely will require a license. Otherwise, we'll work with you case by case there. Then we have our rentals, which is going to be, the duplexes, your single family home. Short-term rentals, as Joe mentioned, Airbnbs, VRBO, temporary and seasonal licenses. Those are typically going to be our Christmas tree stands, fireworks stands, all of those kind of things. And then we work with special event licenses. Anything, sometimes they won't have alcohol, sometimes they do, and then we'll walk you through those processes with that. And then our awesome solicitor licenses that, everybody loves a good solicitor, so we make sure we license those. All right, so some steps that'll help you prior to applying for your business license is to attend that CRT meeting that Joe spoke about. We want you to work with a planner. I'm really glad that we put these, I got them in the right order, because that would have been embarrassing if I had building before planning. I would have had to deal with Joe about that, so that's good. Yep, so we're going to work with a planner. If you're going to be making any changes, we want you to work with our building permit staff as well, and Christian will go over more of that too. One thing I do notice, our building staff, all of us, we speak a little bit of a different language, but I notice they're going to say remodel, okay? But a lot of times we get caught up with the business owners think a remodel is, oh, I'm changing the paint color. Oh, I'm making, bringing it up style-wise. Those aren't necessarily the same thing. So we just need to, if you have questions, or just not even if you have questions, just always come check if you need a building permit. It's just going to make your process go a lot quicker and smoother. Okay, all businesses within the state of Utah are required to register with the Department of Commerce. The only time you're not going to need to is if your business name is just your own name. Sarah Smith, you don't need to register your own name. If you have Sarah Smith Cleaning, you will need to register that. So something to be aware of there. You start that process with the State Tax Commission. Sometimes they take a couple weeks to get those certificates out, so that just kind of speeds that process up. And then begin working with any of the additional licensing agencies, and I'll go through some of those as well. All right, so health department is usually a pretty well-known one if you're working, any of the services, food, those kind of things. Agriculture, that one not very many people are aware of. That's going to be if you're doing anything with chocolates, cheeses, meats, all of those. And we can help you know which one we need to work with as well with that. The Utah Department of Health and Human Services for any licensure for daycares, if you're doing anything with the health services, like a nursing home, skilled nursing home, or anything like that. MVED, which is the Motor Vehicle Enforcement Division. That is one that we notice a lot of people do not realize that is a thing. If you are manufacturing parts for a vehicle, they require a license that way. Selling cars, transporting vehicles, anything like that. DOPL, which is your Department of Professional Licensing, and then ATF for the alcohol, tobacco, firearms are some of those. Let's see, I'm just trying to think if I had forgotten any of them. I don't believe so. Okay. All right, so how to apply. You're going to want to visit our one-stop portal. The website is onestop.ogdencity.com. It will have you create an account. That account is going to allow you to log in, renew your business license. You can also use that same account to apply for your building permits and do process through there. Choose which license that you're going to need to apply for. in the licenses, it will describe kind of how I went over what commercial business you're going to need or which license that way. If you have questions, absolutely give us a call. Right now, you'll notice that any of the businesses with alcohol, we do not have those available to apply for online because we do require background checks on those. So we just like to really work closely with those business owners as they apply. Okay. To make your process go more smoothly, I'd like to give a very important tip to please follow the instructions that are at the top of the page. We've laid it out pretty well. And if you're like me, you get reading and you're like, yes, I have a box, I get to fill it in, I'm so excited, and then we're gonna move on. And then you end up missing a bunch of the information we're actually asking for. So that will help streamline your approval process just by following those steps there. Okay. All right, so our review process, once you submit your complete application, that complete application is going to include a site plan of your property, and that's so planning can review that, make sure you have the parking stalls you need, make sure that screening is there, your dumpster is covered and not ugly and everything. So you're gonna do your site plan, you need your floor plan, and we like to see a floor plan, kind of two versions of it, one of how it's existing and then what your plan is. And that's gonna help our staff be able to look through there and compare and see, okay, they are moving a sink, we absolutely need a building permit, you know? Oh, they're putting in some new outlets, those kind of things. It just kind of helps us pre-screen if you haven't already spoken with the building department. Okay, so once we receive that complete application, you will be sent an invoice, and that will come through your email that you registered with in there. And then you'll just click the link and it'll take you to your invoice where you can pay it. And then once we see that is paid, and that will notify us automatically, that's when we're gonna put your application into review. And that's gonna go to the departments that Joe mentioned in the with the CRT meeting. Okay, we have planning and zoning, the building, fire, engineering, and that's for FOG, which is the fats, oils, and greases program. And then also, I did not put on police department, but that usually comes with just those background checks, alcohol licenses, that way. FOG and engineering doesn't always apply to everyone, so we're not gonna waste their time with the review on that. And then we route it out to the external agencies like the health department. We work with DABs and those agencies as well. Important to know, if you are working with DABs, that Department of Alcohol Beverage Services, when you apply, they are going to ask you for a copy of your business license. And they're gonna tell you, we're not gonna process your application until you give us a copy of your business license. And then you're gonna tell us that, and we're gonna tell you, we got you. We're gonna send them your license directly, because we can't issue your license until we see that they've approved you. So it's just that back and forth. It's really fun for everybody, but I promise we got you. Yeah, it's awesome. There's a lot of trust testing where people are like, but are you sure? We got you. Okay. So once those departments do their reviews, they are either going to approve it or they're going to require resubmit. And when they require resubmit, our staff is going to send you an email with a corrections report, and that is going to list the corrections that each reviewer has made that need to be either clarified or changed. And it has their contact information on there as well. So planning, say Joe's doing your planning review, it will say Joe Simpson requires this, and it will have his email address, phone number, the opportunity to schedule a booking with him that way. And then you will notify us when you've made those corrections that they've requested. And then that's how we know to go ahead and put it back into their review to get our process back moving that way. So if there's more corrections, same process. Once everything is approved and we get all of the approvals from outside agencies as well, that is when you are going to be issued your business license. And that's going to come through the email as well. So, okay. I think that's pretty much it. We just have a nice, trying to streamline this process for everybody here. And if you have questions like, do I need to work with engineering or whatnot, or I have questions, the beauty about business licensing is that we are pretty much the bridge that gaps all of those divisions. So we can tell you exactly who you need to work with and make sure that you get in contact with them. So, all right, well, thank you for your time and laughing at my couple little jokes, and there we go. Okay, thanks, guys.